Well, why don't you describe your path in life that brought you to the point of having enough courage to open your own agency?
Wow. I don't have a typical PR background. My background actually comes from the finance world. At first, I started out pitching and selling. After I graduated from Cornell University, I got my Series 7 and started selling stocks and bonds and mutual funds. I have a great mentor in my life, and I must say that in your path, a mentor is absolutely necessary. And he told me the one thing you want to learn how to do is sell. Because no matter what you do, selling includes all aspects of business: customer service, pitching, relationship management. You will learn how to you can do anything. And I didn't really necessarily want to do it, but I trusted him and trusted his guidance and took that sales position. From that, I learned the importance of writing a good pitch, writing the script, how to craft it so that people can understand it. Also, I was told if you can sell an intangible asset and get people to invest in an intangible asset because they don't see their investment in the mutual fund, you can pretty much sell anything. So I became very good at selling intangible assets. From that, I was in American Express marketing department. I was a director of their Newark office, and then they sold off the financial division. So after I went into management, they sold off the financial division, and I just decided before that even I just wanted something new. But when you're really good at something, you kind of need a little push in life to give you that. So I decided that, okay, I like the entrepreneurial role that kind of sales provide you. I like pitching, and I did a long soul searching, and I always liked media. So a friend of mine at the time, who's also another mentor of mine, and I think that has a lot to do with it, is Robin Beeman, and she's Oprah's publicist. She's in Chicago, and I contacted her, went back and forth to Chicago, and basically started moonlighting with her. I would say on a contractor basis. And she said, wow, you're really good at this. I said, oh, it's the same thing. You're just selling the media. You have to find the people that want your product or service, just like you have to find the people that are interested in your story. You have to find these people. You have to think about what's going to make them move to write about you, and then you have to get the clients and develop the relationships. Okay, fine. So I guess I kind of picked up very quickly from that. Being in the finance world. And one of the things that I use when I hire people and I train them is I say you have to get sales experience. That's an absolute must, even for my writers that are in my firm. To look at, I give them Zig Ziglar, I give them a Zig Ziglar book, I give them the Tom Hopkins book. Now that's very unusual for a PR person, but it's very important when it comes to pitching and distinguishing yourself. So even if you're a writer, you have to know how to write where it's enticing enough to have someone want to buy your story, just like they want to buy your product or service. The writing side is more important now because I believe people are reading more, maybe not more books, but they're reading more with online content. So how do I make that salacious enough and writers get inundated with, journalists get inundated with 1 million emails. So I have to make it salacious, but not really too salesy. And that's really where I believe my success model is in my firm, with just my path and my background and taking the good and the bad and the ugly and kind of mixing it together and coming up with your own formula.
How long have you been in the business now?
Wow, 9 years.
9 years, okay. So in your 9 years, what are the most important public relations issues that you've faced? What have you learned during your
Enduring
career?
truths of people are people, and we're all human, and I think I'm reminded of that lesson every day. I think as PR pros, we try to make mountains out of molehills, and sometimes you just got to realize that you can't make a mountain out of a molehill. And that is something that I always have to grasp it, because you have to have a can-do attitude, but sometimes it's not realistic. So just certain truths that I have is that just be realistic, although you're optimistic, about what you can do for your clients and what your clients can do, and the time frame that you can do it in is very important. Because I've had clients who maybe I have said, and I like to take personal accountability, well, I think we can get something going in 3 months, but their story was a lot more difficult, and maybe you needed a year to really begin to educate the press and start their whole PR campaign. And I've had campaigns even pick up after I was no longer working with that client. So an endearing truth is also be open and not stubborn, and people are people, and be forgiving, and know when you can't do it. My mother always says a true woman knows when to leave. So always know when to leave that relationship, leave the story alone or leave the client alone, because it causes a lot less drama and heartaches and tension later on. I've also found that this is a 24-hour job. You're always on. Even if you're off 24 hours, the news, the media, they're going without you, especially with social media and the internet. I've woken up and seen things like, whoa, just watched the news last night, and that just, how did that happen? And it takes 8 seconds for a story to get out. We see that with what went on in Egypt and Trayvon Martin before the media even speaks about it. So whether the journalists are on, whether I'm on, whether my client's on, the people are out there, and they're demanding the content, and they're gonna shape it if you don't. So I believe now everyone needs PR. Everyone needs media training, even down to the yogurt shop down the street. Because if you serve, so they're tweeting about you, oh, this whatever does not taste good. There's a guy on Twitter that tells where his truck is at every day, and people follow him, and he's a success where his food truck is in New York, and he managed to get like news people to show up, and next thing you know, he's on ABC, he's on NBC, he's on Fox 5. So some of those truths are just always be ready, no matter how small you are, how large you are. I also believe that clients should not try to do it themselves. I do believe that there's room for us, because you can't do it all. And if a business owner is trying to do his own PR, then who's going to run your business? Mm-hmm. So those are just certain truths that I've learned, and that, they like you 1 minute and the media likes you 1 minute, and the next minute the media doesn't like you. But isn't that the case for people also? Sometimes we like our friends 1 minute, and the next second we're like, she's crazy, she's nuts, Mm-hmm. So we're all really just human, and not to take it all too seriously, and learn how to laugh.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you wish that we could chat about a little bit, or do you feel like we've covered enough ground?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, Cordelia, thank you.
I think that it's a great field. I think that with new media, social media, I think the PR rep needs to not just be the standard communications person. I think they have to be technologically savvy. They have to know new media, social media. They even have to learn how to work a camera. Thanks to the camera person back there. But they have to learn how to work the camera and do video and embed video into your pitches. And which I'm taking a class on next week on just simply how to just do some rough cuts and editing to be able to pitch my client stories better. So if you have, I think a PR person has to, their mentality has to evolve, their views have to evolve, their technology skills have to evolve. Not just change, but evolve. I think that if you're not that person, then it's going to be very difficult for you in new media. But I think for the person that is that person, there's a lot of opportunity for people that are looking to evolve, and they like a little bit of video with a little bit of social media, and at the same time they're a great writer and they can express themselves or express for their clients a great way. I'd also, you always have to work on your writing skills. That's something that I try to do myself as well as with my, with my staff, is that we always have to look at how we write, what we write. Sometimes the greatest writer may not be the greatest pitch writer, but knowing what the different types of writing that's required for the job is very important, and probably being a catch-all. I think public relation firms need to have an idea of not do everything, but know who they can hire to do other parts of the business. And we also have to be marketers now. Whereas there was a clear distinction between social media and a marketer, social media PR and a marketer. Now all three of those are mixed, and that's your PR professional firm now.
Right.
So that's it.
Wow. Well, Cordelia Donovan, thank you so much.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
I really do. That's great.